A farmer takes 250 mangoes to the market. In the first hour, he sells 8% of the mangoes. In the second hour, he sells 10% of the remaining mangoes. First question: how many mangoes did he sell? Second question: how many mangoes are left with him after 2 hours? Last question: what percentage of the total mangoes does he sell in 2 hours? The first step is to understand the question properly. We should break it down and solve one part at a time. Now, let's begin by answering the first question: how many mangoes did the farmer sell in 2 hours? Total number of mangoes the farmer takes to the market is 250. Mangoes sold in the first hour is equal to 8% of 250. We can write 8% as 8 over 100, then, of. In mathematics mean multiply and then we have 250. Let's do the cancellation. We can strike off these two zeros. 8 multiplied by 25 gives us 200. And then, again striking off these two zeros gives us 20. So, out of his 250 mangoes, the farmer managed to sell only 20 in the first hour. But hold on. That's not our final answer yet because the question asks how many mangoes he sold in 2 hours. Now, in the second hour, he sells 10% of whatever is left. Let's first figure out how many mangoes he still has after the first hour. Total mangoes at the start, 250. Mangoes sold in the first hour, 20. Mangoes left after the first hour. 250 minus 20 equals 230. Now, let's calculate his second hour sales. In the question, we are given the information that the farmer sells 10% of the mangoes that are left after the first hour. That means the farmer sells 10% of 230 mangoes. To find this, let's simplify the calculation step by step. First, we strike off the 0 in 230 with the 0 in 100. Now, we are left with 10 over 10 times 23. Next, we strike off the remaining 0 in the denominator with the 0 in the numerator. Now, what remains is simply 23, which means the farmer sells 23 mangoes in the second hour. But wait. Do you think this is the final answer? No. The question asks how many mangoes he sold in total in 2 hours. We have found that he sold 20 mangoes in the first hour and 23 mangoes in the second hour. Now, let's add them up. 20 plus 23 equals 43, that means the farmer sold 43 mangoes in total in 2 hours. Now, let's move on to the second part of the question: how many mangoes are left with him after 2 hours? Here, the word after is very important. The farmer started with 250 mangoes. Over 2 hours, he sold a total of 43 mangoes. Now, to find out how many mangoes are left, we need to subtract the number of mangoes he sold from the total number of mangoes he originally had. 250 minus 43 equals 207. That means 207 mangoes are left with him after 2 hours. And with that, we're done with the second part of the question, too. Now, let's move on to the third and final part of the question: what percentage of the total mangoes did he sell in 2 hours? Remember, the question asks for the percentage sold, not left. He had a total of 250 mangoes and sold 43. So, using the percentage formula, 43 over 250 times 100, you get 17.2%. That's your answer. Remember, solving problems is like selling mangoes. If you break them down step by step, you'll end up with a sweet success. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more.